I beg your pardon?
Do you want me to tell you?
Just give us your 3 major areas of focus where you to be appointed ambassador to Beijing.
What I can bring up is what is the difference between the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea.
What is the difference between the South China Sea and the West Philippine Sea?
Yes, because we are now...
In the eyes of the Chinese, is there any difference? In the eyes of mainland China, is there any difference?
In terms of the name, there's different. But the location-wise is the same.
Location-wise is the same. So in the eyes of the People's Republic of China, what we call now the West Philippine Sea is part of the South China Sea.
I think so, Your Honor.
You think so?
Because if they are in China, they call it South China Sea. We in Philippines, we can say this West Philippines.
So you don't know when we started using the term West Philippine Sea?
We only lately, the West Philippine Sea's overlap portion of the South China Sea. The West Philippine Sea also includes 200 miles economic zone as measured from our outermost islands.
Yes, that is correct. The West Philippine Sea is a recent invention because constantly referring to the disputed area and calling it the South China Sea is not exactly in the interest of the Filipino nation. So we just called it now. Recently, I think since last year, 2 years ago, we refer to it as the West Philippine Sea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Which is part of the claims that we have that historically is part of the South China Sea.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct, right. What are the 3 pillars of Philippine diplomacy?
Regarding?
Mr. Ambassador, they call it the 3 pillars of Philippine diplomacy, and this has been in existence for some time, from the time of Secretary Alberto Romulo. So are you familiar with the 3 pillars of Philippine democracy?
Democracy, not concerning the West Philippines.
Philippine diplomacy. Yes, I'm sorry. Did I say something else? I'm very sorry. Philippine diplomacy, Mr. Ambassador. I misspoke.
Philippine diplomacy. We have more than 100 of diplomatics.
Somebody handed you a note, so meron kang kodigo. Basahin mo na lang.
The economic diplomacy.
Economic, yes, that's one.
Investment considered is
political is the second one.
Yes.
And assistance to Filipino nationals is the third. Those have been for several years now the 3 basics of the Department of Foreign Affairs.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
This is the first time you've heard of it. Did you not receive a briefing, which is naturally given to all ambassadors?
I have a lot of briefing. In 6 months' time, I took 6 months' time already, Your Honor.
All right. What do you feel is the single most critical problem the Philippines faces in its relations with the People's Republic of China?
The issue of this party, the West Philippines, is an issue that's from time to time that is in the middle of our in promoting other relationships, such as we cannot move with the tourism, investor, trade, and so many others. If we concentrate on this, between the two countries, concentrate on this disputed matter, South China Sea, West Philippines.
Well, we do realize that that's going to be our most prickly problem in our relationship with People's Republic of China, perhaps over the next 20 years. How do you foresee this affecting our relationships in other areas like trade, cultural, acceptance of Filipino workers in mainland China? By the way, how many Filipino workers do we have in mainland China?
Actually, we don't call workers. They don't have workers.
They don't have working. They don't have working visas. That's what you're saying.
Yes, they have no working visa. We use tourist visa, and then there are some technical visas. So we all call Filipino citizens.
How many would there be in mainland?
Overall, it's 12,000.
How many?
12,249, 54.
So that's 12,254 in China alone. And all don't have, not one has a working visa.
There are few because they have to be high technically. They are medical profession, engineer. But so far there's no domestic worker. What I mean, they are not allowed. So
are you going to make efforts to at least make official policy in China the acceptance and the grant of working visas to Filipinos in the same way that we have accepted many thousands of mainland Chinese to come into our country and to work or even immigrate?
Your Honor, if I may say something, yes. I have had so many programs to do, but the problem is I don't have a chance. I need the cooperation of the other agency, government agency, to work together, and I think we can go into that. I have previous experience because if I'm the one who can give a chance, I can reach the top level.
Have you ever had any quasi-diplomatic exposure to mainland China, or has it only been
I
with
have so many
Taiwan?
friends there who are then in high positions.
You have many friends in high position in the People's
China.
Republic.
China, yes.
And you feel that these friendships will work to the benefit of the Filipino people?
They personally even offer me to help.
To help with?
Honor, to help certain to increase or to change their status, because China is very strict. Using visitor visa, they have to be. They are not allowed to stay in the dormitory or residence. Within 24 hours, if they are invited by a friend to stay in the location, they have to report to the nearby police. Until now, Your Honor.
Do you see these things easing?
What? Come again?
Do you see these restrictions being eased in the future?
There is a possibility. I don't think they will stay at least because as the democracy of China is little by little improving.
Have you written a work